This is the Sipsey River. It's a small, free-flowing river in West Alabama. We're in now in the forever wildlands near the town of Buell in western Tuscaloosa County. We can see the river coming through here. You can see how swampy it is. We go pan around and look here. And if you look closely right here, you can see where the river splits and goes around an island in the middle. It forms two channels. You have one channel going over to the right and then another channel going to the left. There's a small island in the middle, and you see where the river goes around to the other side. What appears to be the bank on the other side is actually an island with the river going around it on both sides. Here's a good example of the tupelo trees that grow along the banks in this part of the river. We have ball cypress just a little bit further south, but most of the trees in this area are water tupelo. Okay, here we see the Sipsey River flowing along, and this is a slough off the Sipsey. You can probably see the Sipsey in the distance over there. This is a slough off the river, and here what is known as the Sipsey River Swamp, a tupelo swamp. This area is wet most all the time. Occasionally in the summertime when it's really dry, it may dry almost up, but it's usually wet. You can see the high water marks on the trees where the water has been up. Here's the mouth of the slough, and you can see the river in the distance. Here's a good example of an oxbow lake or pond along the Sipsey River. If you look closely, you can see where the pond bends around, as the river would at one time. This has obviously been cut off from the river for quite a few years now, probably 100 years or more. The tupelo trees out in the middle of what was once the channel have had time to grow to huge trees, so it's been cut off for quite a while. But the river, every time it floods every year, it does get into this pond. So once again, every year this pond becomes part of the river again. Okay, here we are on the Sipsey River again. This is the point where the two channels come back together. You can see the island in the middle and a channel coming on either side and rejoining in front of the island. Go downstream a bit. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of the line. This is as far as I'll be able to travel into the swamp by foot. As you can see, the water is fairly deep across the road here. At this point, we're starting to see, we're about 2 miles downstream from where we first introduced you to the swamp. At this point, bald cypress trees are starting to appear. If you look straight ahead, that's a bald cypress, and they're mixed in with the tupelo trees. One way you can tell the difference when there's no leaves on the trees is the cypresses have ridges on the trunk, and the tupelos usually do not. That's a cypress in front of us, and this is a tupelo. Here's where the water crosses the road. The swamp continues on the other side. The farther south you get, the thicker the cypresses get, but there's also tupelos there in the entire length of the swamp. This is a large oxbow lake off the Black Warrior River near Foster's, Alabama. Simply known as Cypress Pond. It's a favorite of bird watchers throughout the state. You can often see blue heron, white heron, and many other large birds here.